Senator Shoebridge.
Well, thanks, Chair, and thanks, Ms Segal, for your appearance today. Your conflicts of interest forms have been the subject of at least one Freedom of Information request that's been treated as a deemed refusal. It's now an appeal with the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner. Were you consulted by the department about the decision not to release your conflict of interest forms?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you support the refusal to release your conflict of interest forms?
Well, Senator, if I can say, my understanding of the forms you're talking about are the forms that I might have signed when I first started. Are they the forms you're talking about?
Well, I don't know how many conflict of interest forms you've signed, but the request is for the conflict of interest declarations you've given. If you've done it more than once, well, then I assume it's about if you've done it multiple times.
No, I'm just asking if that's what you're talking about.
I haven't seen the documents because they've been refused.
Well, I don't believe that they're called conflict of interest forms. I think they're called interest forms. Are they called conflict of interest forms?
Well, howsoever described, the ones that declare any conflicts of interests or potential conflicts of interests that you have. This is a requirement ordinarily of every public office.
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming you made such a declaration. Did you?
I did. I declared all my interests.
Documents. They are the documents. And you obviously know what the documents are because you said you were consulted about the refusal to provide them. So I'm talking about those documents.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So did you support the refusal?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I think it's in terms of the guidelines, they're private information.
Well, they're information that allows the public to see what a public official's interests are so that they can be judged whether or not in their public capacity they're acting in the public's interests or potentially also in another organisation's or entity's interests that the official has an interest in. Like, there's a clear public interest in having this disclosed. The minister's interests are publicly disclosed because that's how we operate.
Yeah,
there is public scrutiny of public officials.
Sure. Well, let me take on notice what has been refused so that we're talking about the same things, because I'm not quite sure where they are up to. So let me take that on notice. But my interests, if I could use it, those, when I started this role, are well known. They were very well known that I had been on various boards because I think you've asked me and others have asked me questions about those other boards that I was on at the time. I don't think that it's not secret information, it was public information.
Well, if it's not secret, if it's public, why do you object to them being published?
That's why I said I'll take it on notice what has been objected to, Senator.
Well, what's been objected to is the disclosure of your interest forms. You know that because we discussed it. You told me what they were yourself. That's what you've been consulted on, which sets out if you have board positions or former board positions, if you have positions with other organisations, if you have investments in entities that may have potentially come across your work. That's what we're talking about. And why won't you allow the public to see?
Senator, if I could just make the point that Ms Segal is not the decision maker on this FOI. She was consulted, but the decision was a departmental officer, and there is, of course, a review process against that decision. Ms Segal doesn't have the documents in front of her, and I don't think it's reasonable to ask her.
I never suggested Ms Segal was. I was asking about her consultation and what position she gave in the consultation. She was consulted, wasn't she, Secretary? So as anybody would be about their information.
Indeed, but my point, Senator, is that Ms Segal's input is an input to the decision maker. It's the decision maker's decision, and if you wish that decision to be reviewed, then there is a process.
I'm not talking about the review of the decision. I'm talking about Ms Segal's input into that process, which is a perfectly valid manifest Senate estimates. So, Ms Segal, I'm still at a loss as to why, when you were asked, you objected.
I didn't object, Senator. The question was, did I support the decision of the view of the decision maker at the Home Affairs, and I did support it.
Well, you see, the way it normally works is you're not consulted on the final decision. Your opinion is sought along the way. So were you given a draft copy of the decision from Home Affairs?
Senator, as I said, I have to take that on notice. It was some time ago, and I don't recall, but I can certainly review it and have a look.
Were you asked about whether or not you supported the opinion of Home Affairs
Senator,
to not
I said I
release
would
it?
take it on notice.
Well, I mean, I asked whether or not you objected to the release. You said that you supported the position of Home Affairs.
Yep.
Now, it would be very unusual in the process for the delegate to have formed a position and then consulted you afterwards. That isn't my understanding of how the process works. So when were you consulted, Ms Segal? When were you consulted?
Senator, I think there's a temporal issue here. Ms Segal is saying that she supports what she now knows to be the decision of the FOI decision maker. You are quite right. The process is to seek input from the person whose information is being considered. And I think that I'm confident that my staff will have followed the proper process in their consultation.
So I come back to the very question that I asked, which got, I'll repeat it again. When you were asked about whether or not you agreed to the release of the information, what did you say?
Senator, I said I would take that on notice because I don't recall the order of things. I will investigate it.
I'm not asking about the order.
I will take it on notice, Senator.
Senator Shoebridge, I think Ms Segal has indicated that she's not in a position to respond to the details of the question you're asking. She's taken the question on notice.